Welcome to Season 3 of the Sheffield United career mode on FIFA 23. As we enter the summer transfer window, you can see transfers have already been made in this window as we start to really aim as high as we possibly can this upcoming season. After missing out on Champions League football, but qualifying for Europa League football, we're aiming to break into that top 4 this season, if not maybe go a bit higher, and try our best to win a trophy this year, be that domestically or now continentally as well, after missing out on both the FA Cup via a semi-final exit and Carabao Cup after a final defeat last year. Really want to go that one step further. We're looking to improve the squad in a number of areas. We need at least one, if not probably two centre-backs, a backup right-back, a backup starting first-team left-back, a new, strong central midfield player, and we're also going to bring in Cameron Archer at striker as well, as he's joined in real life and he's better than Ryan Brewster, who will make way for Cameron Archer coming in that case. We've got a number of players we're going to look to sell as well, and the money that is available to us right now is the accurate figure. We've eliminated all of the Patreon player money, and we'll be able to spend all £76 million that's available to us. You guys have been offering me your suggestions in the comment section of the past couple of episodes, and I very much appreciate it. They are all on the shortlist as you see it right now, so I will scroll quickly down it. However, one deal that I am going to do right off the bat, before we wait for some of these scout reports to come back in, you'll note the, I believe, Thiago Silva regen, although I haven't checked his birthday yet. There, Renato Cardoso. He's probably a little bit too far out of our realms of possibility at the moment, but there's no reason why we couldn't maybe go for him in January if the opportunity arises, and he hasn't signed for anyone yet. I believe Jacobs might be of some quality, although we shall wait and see. And Dragovic, we believe, is, well, you could probably put 2 and 2 together with him being Croatian, can't you, to be completely honest. So there are some others that are on the shortlist that I'm just curious about. Messi still doesn't have a team. 86 rated now at 37 years of age. I'm not going to be signing him. It's just not happening, I'm sorry. Maybe, in like, for the last season of the save, if he hasn't signed for anyone yet, we might consider it. But there are certainly some options available to us. But one we certainly are going to do is to get Kyle Walker in. He wants to come back to Sheffield United in real life before he retires. He's started to reach the end of his career in save. He will be declining in rating throughout the course of the upcoming season. So the only chance we're really going to get to use him is going to be this year, where he's actually going to have an impact on the side. And we can't really get much better at this stage of a backup right back that could also play at centre back than Kyle Walker, especially given the storyline of him wanting to return to the club in real life. He's only got a year left on his contract at Napoli as well. They're only in the Europa League too. It's not like they've got Champions League football and we're nabbing him unrealistically. It's a sideways step, and certainly for him, one that we know that he wants to make. He's asking for crucial. He can obviously have it, but he will be back up to Jayden Bogle. We'll offer him 4 years. He only wants 2. That says to me that the game is probably going to have him retire in now 3 years' time, if not before. No release clause is fine, and obviously we'll give him whatever he wants wage-wise. I say that. He's a massive appearance fee. If you don't mind, I might remove that, but then you can have the wages that you've asked for. All right. Let's negotiate a little bit. We're no longer, or we are not, in this save in a position where money is readily available. So we'll have to be frugal with each of the deals that we do, especially considering we have so many deals that we would like to do. But deal 1 is done. A reminder, of course, that Ahmed Hozic has left us to go to Manchester City, hence the requirement for a new starting centre-back to come into the 11. Sousa was an option for us to move from CDM to centre-back. I'm still contemplating it, but as you guys rightly pointed out, he does only have jumping in the late 60s. So despite being 6'2", I'm not sure how effective he would be in that centre-back role. His balance isn't great either, which is more of an issue in CDM than it is at centre-back, but it's still certainly not great. I'm torn at the moment as to what to do with Sousa with that position. I could just play him there anyway and he still gets boosts. So it's not too much of an issue. But certainly would like to sign another central midfielder to bleed into the squad in the ultimate aim of replacing Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain in that 11. And we're also going to, as we've mentioned previously, sign... Where are you? Oh God, lots of strikers on the shortlist. There he is, Cameron Archer, 76 rated. He's got some pace, decent finish, not bad in possession. 73 short passing, certainly better than Ollie McBurney or... Oh, he's only 10 million as well. Bargain! Better than Ollie McBurney or Chuba Akpom in the past, so that's certainly something, an area where we've struggled in this save. That's why Vlasic is on my shortlist at the moment. They want Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm sorry. Oxlade-Chamberlain has been just too integral to the positive play at Sheffield United over the past season. He is a large factor in why we are where we are and why we've achieved what we have in just 2 seasons. So he wants an important squad role. You always ask them to renegotiate in the hope that they'll be open to it, but very rarely are they. A 5-year deal is absolutely fine by me. Similarly, no release clause. Wage-wise, I'm not expecting him to want too much. He's currently on 19. He's coming from Darmstadt, so you'd expect him to be wanting an upgrade in wage of some description. And he's not happy with 28 grand, which is nearly 10 grand more than what he's currently on. So that's something to take on board and something we shall certainly renegotiate in a week's time, but it hasn't quite gone according to plan yet. Had a bid for £8 million for Ryan Brewster from Luton, which I think I'm just going to accept off the bat. It's effectively a third more than his current valuation, so there's not really much negotiation to be done there, and Luton aren't necessarily a side that are going to be massively flush with cash. Frankfurt have bid for Ollie McBurney here. Now, I'm not looking to sell Ollie at the moment. He's still going to stay as the starting player. However, I agree that he should be phased out as we move through this season. Now, Myers is one that is actually getting a little bit of mixed response. I've not used him as my scout future star, or my future star, so to speak. Homegrown talent, as it's dubbed. But I don't really feel the draw to want to use him, if I'm completely honest. So I certainly am open and would like to sell him. I would not like to sell him to Sporting and get only £4 million and have Marita in return. So I will negotiate this and try and get a decent fee for him. But as is the case with Luton, I'm not sure Sporting really are going to have the sort of financial clout to... Alright, they've got the financial clout. £24 million potentially coming in for the £15.5 million valued Alex Myers. Lovely. That will be very nice indeed. I didn't think I'd get that much. I started that high with an aim of hopefully them giving me about 20. They'll pay the 24. Ryan Brewster is gone to Luton Town now. They, I don't believe, came up from the Championship last year. Of course, we've seen a couple of sides that were in the Championship in real life come back up as we started the new save and updated the movement of teams up and down. Leeds, Leicester, Leeds and Leicester came back up. Leicester then subsequently, I think, went back down again. Indeed, they did. But Luton are back in the Premier League. Southampton and Luton, as well as it was Burnley. I just went and had a look at the season finale from yesterday. Burnley went down and came back up again. They won the league. Southampton finished second and Luton won the playoffs. It was going to drive me mad if I didn't just go and have a look at that quickly. One thing I did want to point out, I think I was recording at the moment I saw it. I think I might even include that little clip. I just looked after I started recording. Cambridge managed to win the playoffs in League 2. So they're back in League 1 again. Things you love to see. Now, I did have, I have gotten some scout reports back here. Brewster sold, of course. Neil has not agreed a deal to go away. Slimane hopefully will be going to PSV, so we'll accept that. And now Werder Bremen have offered me actually a swap deal Oh! Felix Agu is on my shortlist. That's intriguing. He's on my shortlist as a potential right wing back signing as the backup. Now, at 75 rated, physically, he's very, very good. Technically, holy moly, there's nothing there at all, is there, really, other than good dribbling and half-decent ball control. So, I'm going to remove him from my shortlist, and I'm sorry, Werder Bremen, I do not want him. Renegotiated for Cameron Archer. Let's try £35,000 a week rather than 28. Still no. Give me something to go off, please. I'm nearly doubling your wage and you're still saying no. That's baffling. Do you mind? I'd really like to actually sign you if possible. A handful of players that are/were on my shortlist as free agents have now signed elsewhere. Ben Johnson was a player that can play anywhere in the back line and would probably have been an okay signing as a backup, but not spectacular. Has gone to Arsenal, so we'll remove him from the list now. Max Aarons is at Brentford, of course, so we'll keep scouting him. Is there anybody else that moved? Someone moved as well. Abu Diallo has become no longer a free agent as he signed with Athletic Club de Bilbao. He genuinely is one I'm a bit miffed that I missed out on, because he would have been pretty good actually at centre-back, unfortunately. Still waiting for a scout report back on Calvin Bassey. Physically, obviously, he's sensational. I'm not sure if he's going to be good enough technically. Nathan Ake is absolutely one that I'd be open to buying, for sure, at centre-back. Aging, he says at 29, being 35 years old himself, but not necessarily a bad signing at all. Kieran Tierney was one that was very popular with you guys in the comments section. I was a little bit apprehensive to sign him anyway, because I just used him in the Southampton save on the second channel, which is literally the last save I did. But Leipzig aren't willing to sell him anyway, so Kieran Tierney's off the table, unfortunately, for that starting left-back. So at the minute, I have Mateus Oliveira, who is in the process of potentially going to Lille, so that might not happen. Ait Nouri, who might be pretty decent. We got, again, an aging 31-year-old Tagliafico, but he's not declining in rating at all, so would be a doable option and certainly got the experience and quality to go with. Ryan Sessegnon is not first team at Tottenham because of Reguilon, obviously, and Udigi, so Ryan Sessegnon could be an option too. DeMarco is okay. I don't know too much about DeMarco. Robin Gersons is obviously another one that would be very agreeable, although he's 30 now, but I mean, Robin Gersons is Robin Gersons, isn't he? But Spinazzola's available on a free, and he's rapid and has very good crossing. So I'm not sure. Gersons would be very good, and he's a year younger and slightly higher rated. But for free, maybe Spinazzola. Jacobs, unfortunately, isn't very good, so I will remove him from the shortlist when looking at that CDM role. Czech Takoro was a player that I pulled onto the shortlist from your guys' suggestions, but he's moved from Palace to Mönchengladbach throughout the course of this window, so he's now unavailable. Florian Neuhaus looks pretty good as well, actually. 82 rated, great stamina. Physically, not too much about him, but technically, 87 long shots. Passing is superb, 87 and 84 for long and short, respectively. Dribbling's decent as well, so he could be that pivot that kind of pings the balls and dictates play in the centre of midfield, so he looks very good indeed. Mihailo Dragovic, I mean, he's a Modric regen, so of course he's going to be very good. I'll leave that up to you. Yes or no for the Modric regen? Yes or no? You tell me. Richedlis Bazua is also an option as well, although certainly I would prefer Florian Neuhaus of the two 27-year-olds. Crespar I'll take off my shortlist now as well. We only have other scout reports back. I don't think there's anyone else that's on the list that I could have a scout report back on other than Santiago Jimenez, and he has not had that report come back yet. So we're getting there. Still waiting for a couple of other scout reports on some potential fringe players as well. Walker is in, of course. He would default to be the backup centre-back. Mukiele is on the list as well. He was popular with you guys, but 83 and being at PSG and probably going to Leipzig, I think that's going to be a no for Mukiele as well. But Maffeo certainly could be an option. And Tarek Lamptey's Tarek Lamptey. We know all about him, so definitely he's an option too. Max Aarons looks physically good, but technically he's probably not going to be good enough. Although he's only going to be a backup, so swings around a us, maybe. I've got lots of good options, but I'm not sure which one to go with yet, so we'll keep scouting. Slimane sold, Koulibaly sold, Leif Pedersen, the youngster, looked quite promising, out on loan. Scout report on Maxence Lacroix. Physically, we're not going to get many better, are we really? With massively good jumping, massively good sprint speed, acceleration and strength are very, very good indeed. Technically, he's not that impressive, but if you're that good physically, do you need like really good technical stats? Probably not. Probably not. So, I'm quite torn at centre back actually. Longley I don't think is going to be good enough. Doesn't look like it. But Ake is Ake. Then there's Lacroix. Had a scout report come back for Josip Shutalo as well, who's got good jumping, great strength. Not as fast obviously, but technically slightly better. 83 defensive awareness is very good. Then there's David Hanko, who's quick and strong, and also good technically and great in the pass as well at 85. And he kind of stands out as the obvious option here, to be honest, at centre-back. So I might just pull the trigger on David Hanko. Mark Gahey is also decent, but I think Hanko stands head and shoulders above the rest, outside of Cardoso, obviously, whose 95 strength is absurd, really. But he can only tackle, and that's kind of it, really, whereas Hanko can do everything. Literally. So, other than maybe shoot, even he's finishing 63. I think David Hanko's the no-brainer, isn't he, really? So, I'm going to pull the trigger on David Hanko, I think. You guys still very much have the say on the left-back situation, because I'm really not sure what to do there with regards to the potential free or the potential purchase. And I'm not sure still. They only want 33. Ooh, it's a bargain, mate. Absolute bargain. I'm not sure what to do with the Modric regen, as well as obviously you guys are going to have the opportunity to have your say on that, as well as looking at people like Florian Neuhaus too. So certainly there are more options available to you to make a decision, but certainly David Hanko will start as a crucial centre-back and will time up for as long as we possibly can. So that's as close to a no-brainer as you're likely to get, really. And we've still got £40+ million left in the bank. Now that's without Zach Myers having left yet. So there is some more money to come in yet, and a decent amount of it too. So that 40 million might well become closer to 60 million in the not too distant future, which is certainly enough to be able to sign both of the players in the positions we want, rather than rely on a free and someone else. Although I do also need to buy a right back too, but the backup right back should be quite cheap. He says, as he sees Tariq Lamptey's market value at £23 million, so maybe I need to rethink that. But at the minute, things are developing. Trusty to the bench. Into the starting lineup, David Hanko, and sooner rather than later, eventually, I'll agree a contract with with Cameron Archer. Intriguingly, Alex Myers has turned down, I think I called him Zach Myers earlier in the episode, he's turned down the chance to go to Sporting. He doesn't want to go to Portugal. So that money is now, as it stands, not coming in. Which leaves me in a weird position, because I kind of want that money, really, with 43 million only remaining and a multitude of players and positions still left to fill. I think I've got a scout report back on everybody now. Santiago Jimenez is currently in talks with West Ham and not necessarily definitely wanting to sign a striker at this stage of the season. I'm going to remove him now. When it comes to the backup right back, Max Aarons is the cheaper of those on my list and available about valuation, but he's also not spectacular. Physically, very good. Technically, he can't really tackle, which is not necessarily great for a defender, if I'm completely honest. When Maffeo is available about valuation as well, but he's obviously valued at 26. He's also very good, though. Physically, very good. Technically, 85 stand tackle, 87 ball control, and can pass and can cross. Pablo Maffeo is very good. He's good enough to start, almost. Tariq Lamptey, Oh, might be available under valuation at 18.6. Now that makes me more intrigued by Tariq Lamptey. He can tackle. He's got good dribbling. He's all right in the pass and in the cross. But being backup is probably good enough. Let me know about that. Tariq Lamptey might be a good go-to. Although, if we need to save some money, then maybe we go for Max Aarons. Because we have, of course, Kyle Walker, who can dovetail as centre-back and right-back. So I might not need to spend massive money on a backup right-back if we've already got Kyle Walker that's available to be used there. Other centre-backs, probably need to remove them from my shortlist now. Then on the left-back side of things, Sessegnon. So this is a real quandary at the minute. There's Matías Oliveira, who is negotiating with Lille, so probably won't be available, who's just kind of your run-of-the-mill 80-rated player. Then there's Ait Nouri at Wolves, who's quick, agile, good stamina, good in possession. Not amazing in the tackle, but good enough. But we are looking for a starting left wing back, of course, so he's probably good enough. Tagliafico, to give you a full idea of his stats, he's quick-ish. Obviously, the rest of his physical stats are very, very good. Technically, he's kind of an all-rounder, but doesn't really excel anywhere. DiMarco is a really impressive one. Physically, not so much, although 80 pace is certainly good enough and just as good as Max Lowe. But technically, not great in the tackle, but probably good enough. But it's those, as our wing-backs really do bomb on, it's those other technical stats that impress me, particularly the 87 crossing. That could be integral to our attacking play with Ollie McBurney and Tuber Akpom in the middle. Ryan Sessegnon, however, not bad either. Again, not great in the tackle, but stand tackler 77 is probably just good enough to warrant him being an option. Obviously being English as well, maybe that sways it for you. Gerson's stats are now fully in, and actually, I think Gerson's stats were already fully in. I just haven't shown you them. Again, Robin Gerson's is Robin Gerson's. You know that already. The Spinazzola stats you could see as well. Again, crossing, one of his strongest attributes too. There are what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Probably 6. Take Oliveira out. 6 options for you to choose from at left back there. So please do drop your comments in the section down below, because I could very much do with the information. If you see obviously a comment that you agree with, then thumbs up that comment as well. That's how a number of these options ended up on the shortlist in the first place, was because you guys were thumbsing up other people's comments, which made them very much doable and easy to highlight which ones go on the shortlist. Calvin Bassey's just not good enough technically, I don't think, and Teata we're not interested in now. Cardoso is still available as a free agent. If he's available as a free agent next season, then maybe I'll think about signing him for season 4 in place of one of my other aging centre-backs. Maybe we move Harry Maguire on and bring Cardoso on in his place. But left-back, Christ knows what to do there. And in centre-mid, I'm still none the wiser as to what to do there either. So I think Bazour's probably not going to be the one that I go for. I need to set Acquire out of there as well. Bazour's alright, but he's not a worldie. So I don't know. I'll leave him on the shortlist for now. But obviously with players like Neuhaus in there, it's probably going to take preference, isn't he? Florian Neuhaus, and Dragovic is Dragovic. So, oh God, it's always so complicated because I never really know which way you guys are going to sway. I have an inkling, but which is normally pretty accurate, but sometimes that inkling is inaccurate and you pick something completely at left field that I have no idea was coming. We've not even got to the first friendlies yet. I'm now going to try again and negotiate for Cameron Archer and hopefully, eventually, sign a bloody contract. I've offered £42,000 a week and 350 grand as a signing on bonus. And actually still not happy with that, but for the first time they are going to negotiate. And they've not actually negotiated up that much. They just want the appearance fee, slightly bigger bonus, and like an extra 1,500 quid a week. Finally, the deal is agreed and Cameron Archer is in. We have replicated another Sheffield United real life signing. Hopefully this one's pretty good as well. Cameron Archer comes in as the best third choice striker that we could get for that sort of money, I imagine. which is banging because it's a real life signing too. So 2 birds, 1 stone. So remaining, I have 30 million, which might sway your decision as to what happens with the potential free options on the shortlist as opposed to those that I'd have to pay for. We are still expecting to sell La Russie. We are loaning Benny Troyero. That's being negotiated at the minute. But I do still need another centre mid or 2, maybe. And there are free options there as well, which might sway it. Still waiting for the sale of Alex Myers, hoping finally someone might actually offer me another bid for him. But again, factoring in that, is there a bid there? Interest in Ait Nouri. He might be going to Everton for 33.7. Okay, so a loan to buy. I'll just delegate that to a loan. 33-year-old, 82 rated Riyad Mahrez would be very good, but I don't really play a formation that would suit him, and I don't want to lose Dean Henderson. Thank you very much. So I could use Alex Myers as part of another deal to bring someone else in, and that could help us. I want to quicks in that. That could help us earn an extra signing a little bit cheaper to save some of that money. But I'd love to just sell him for upwards of £20 million and be able to improve in that position, or not in that position, just improve the squad all sold. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain is now up to 79 rated, so he's continuing to grow, but he has now, as you can see there, peaked, so he's not going to grow anymore. Lazio bid for one of the Patreon players, which I'll just accept. If that goes through, I will then remove by hiring and firing scouts any money that comes in, so we know exactly the amount of money we've got available to spend. Benny Traore on loan to Gent in the Netherlands. No, sorry, in Belgium for a year. So that's him out the door. The squad is quite thin, but I do have players that I could maybe recall from loan. I do have players that we could look to loan. And also, obviously, we have probably 3 more players we'd like to add to the squad as well. We are aware, of course, that we've got European football to play this year too. So that is going to put an extra stress on the squad. And that's something we have to factor in. So there may be the occasional loan we look to do. Colin has gone to Lazio for 30.6, so £26 million I now need to take out of my budget. So let me go and do that. Celta Vigo have shown an interest in Alex Myers. I will negotiate to try and get a bit more, and I am open to accepting that 21 right off the bat if needs be. Obviously, we're trying to maximise what we can possibly get for him. 24 was... Oh, they'll go to 27. I was going to say 24 was agreeable for Sporting. 27 is agreeable for Celta Vigo. Maybe it's a blessing in disguise that bid with Sporting fell through. That's another youngster going out. Time very much. Toodle Pip. Scott Flynn is going to Watford for 12 months. He gets some good first team football there, I hope, and grow as best as he possibly can. Deal for Cameron Holden to go to RZ as well is agreed. So everybody that we want to leave is so far leaving, other than La Russie. I think he's the only one I want to get out now that hasn't gone anywhere. But certainly the squad is getting very thin, and we are absolutely going to need some new signings to flesh out that squad very much in the next... We're very much in this window. I can't really afford to wait until January for anything else, can I? I'm really not in that position at the moment. Jaden Bogle's growing, which is good. I'll keep him going up. Ultimately, I don't think we're ever going to need to replace him, if I'm completely honest. So I might leave it there for today. Let's just double check that none of those free agents have gone anywhere. So you can have those still available to you. Messi's still a free agent. Dragovic is still a free agent. Good. Spinazzola still a free agent. So all of your options is still an option, other than Ait Nouri, who's now gone to Everton. So we'll take him off the list. Lacroix we're removing anyway. So Tariq Lamptey's still there. Maffeo's still there. Max Aarons has actually gone up in value now because he's grown to 78. So maybe he's going to get a little bit better. That might sway your decision with the right back, perhaps. Left back wise, there now are your 5 options, not 6. And centre mid wise, you got 3 options really: Neuhaus, Bazua, and Dragovic. I could maybe afford. A minute, I can't afford Neuhaus without the Alex Myers money. So let me maybe advance as far as Alex Myers leaving. No! Myers talks end! Just go away, will you? I don't want you! Ah, bugger! Okay, I might need to use Alex Myers as part of a deal to bring someone else in, which would make things less straightforward. But that's where we'll call it for today. I was hoping to get a game in there, but I don't want to risk either of those free agents moving to someone and me put myself in the financial lurch. So drop the video a like. Please let me know your feedback in the comment section down below, and hopefully we can figure this out together. I'll see you tomorrow.